Joe Rogan's trending on Twitter. What's this? Joe Rogan, what happened with um, O'Keefe, Project Veritas? Well, yeah, he no longer with the Project Veritas. I think James uh, O'Keefe he started his own. He said he has his own company. I don't know what really happened to that.
Yeah.
You know that James O'Keefe got his start with Breitbart on that story exposing Acorn, and what they did is they sent
Yeah,
James O'Keefe and this other female reporter into Acorn,
And
which
yeah,
O'Keefe
is
pretended to be a pimp.
they asked them for help setting up a underage sex trafficking ring, and the people at Acorn,
I didn't
that
know
was
it was
crazy. I
underage.
saw
yeah,
that.
yeah, that
I
was
saw that video.
they wanted help setting up an underage sex trafficking ring using children from Guatemala. I
Did
think.
they say that in the meeting?
Yeah, yeah, it's on. That was what was on tape.
What?
Yeah. And that is the story, is that he went in and asked for help setting up a under. I don't think he was probably using the words like 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, but that's the
Well,
No,
story. Is
how
that
did he phrase it?
I don't know. It's not, you can't. I mean, I can't find those videos anymore. I've looked. I'm
Really?
sure they're somewhere, and I'm
scrub
sure that
that.
James O'Keefe could tell the story.
What happened with him and Project Veritas?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, James should go into Joe Rogan and explain all of that, because I don't know, there might be some bogus stuff that happened there. But anyway, yeah, that particular video, he walked in there actually. He was all dressed up. I mean, a white dude dressed up like a an old pimp, in his 70s, and trying to get funding, trying to get help um, for Acorn to get underage kids, underage girls to work for him. That was crazy. I don't know. Maybe we can find that video again, but that was like years ago, though. That was years ago. Nancy Pelosi has never made more than a year. Yeah,
100 and something million,
yeah.
and it's right in front of your face, like the Nancy Pelosi situation. She's never made more than $175,000 a year. She's worth 100 and something $1 million.
Now,
How does
yeah.
that happen? It's like
Corruption.
it's corruption.
It only
It's,
happens through corruption, and it's transparent legal corruption. It's very strange.
and it's not.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah. It happens. Yeah. Well, this one they shook hands. So I think it's because of this guy. Um, I don't remember his name, but he was on Joe Rogan today. Was that Joe today or yesterday? Um, let's get the latest Joe Rogan. Do you think he'll be giving Charlie and Joe Rogan run for the money? I don't know what that means. Ian Carroll, the guy Ian Carroll, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan looks different here. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, this is live. This is live. Anyway, this one is Joe Rogan, and on a paranoia of corrupt politician as Doge unveiled waste and fraud. Yeah,
Living in a
Doge is
world
different.
where for all of our history until the internet, and really until recent internet history, they could do those things and just not have anyone report on it.
exactly.
And so no one would ever even know. And I think that there's this feeling that the world is so dark right now because we're learning it. And I actually take the opposite view. I think that the light is being shown, and the world is super dark. There's all kinds of crazy, horrible people, but there's all kinds of crazy good people, everything in between.
Of
Yeah.
And
course.
you have to shine the light on it
Yeah.
all before you can fix it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
And I think
Yeah,
that's one
I
of the
agree.
more fascinating things about the fact that this is a weird time for uncovering federal corruption, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're in real trouble because I don't think they can use their phones. I don't think they can do the things that they used to be able to do.
Gotta go
point.
back to
And I
Oprah.
don't think they're
I hadn't
united.
thought about that.
This is what I
They're
think.
definitely not united.
Right. So
100%.
there's rats in that ship.
Oh, yeah.
There's rats in that ship, and
Yeah.
and I think everybody's scared, and so everybody's worried that people wearing camera buttons, and so
It is the era of secret cameras too.
and they're all selfish fucks, so they're all out for
Yep.
themselves. So they probably demonstrated that all
on,
throughout these
Joe.
relationships they've had with other people. So nobody trusts anybody,
Yep. I mean, that's the
And-
nature of politics.
and you can't use your phone.
Nope.
You can't use your email. You can't. You probably can't even talk with Alexa in the house.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no, no,
you
no, no,
can't.
no.
Yeah, yeah, you can't. Everything's being monitored now. So a lot of these people probably they're gonna snitch on each other, and then um, how like the mafia back in the day when they would deal with the FBI, for a lesser sentence. You know, that's probably what's gonna happen with all this Doge or finding out, who's who, and look at all this um government officials, even in the Congress, though. I guess the bad thing about that, Congress has some sort of immunity, to a certain extent. And they're going to, I hope Doge will, or DOJ for that matter, will really look into that and hold no bar. You know what I mean? Um, because their time is up. I'm talking about either Democrats and Republicans. I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. Look at Republicans have been in the office for many many years, and have gained or increased their income or net worth. Um, so yeah, I mean, just like how like Obama, I mean, came out of there a millionaire. You know, with Trump now, I mean, Trump is already billionaire when he took office. Just like how Elon Musk, he's already a billionaire. Well, that's why he's not getting paid. He just want to fix. He just wants to fix things. He just wants to like get it right. You know what I mean? Um, what is this on YouTube? Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah. So I don't really see anything because they just talking about Joe Rogan because I think he dropped podcast and got the Ian Carroll in there, which is a really interesting guy, Ian Carroll. Maybe am I following him? No, I'm not even following him anymore. Follow the money, seek the truth. This is what they. All right. Oh, see, this is live right here.
Bella, according to Robert Meister, Les would sometimes stay at Meister's house
Epstein
in Palm Beach
controversy.
so that Bella, whose Palm Beach house was near Les's, wouldn't know Les was in town. He was afraid of her. She was running his life, Meister said. And then it goes on to talk about how Jeffrey Epstein came along and basically usurped her power. And Leslie Wexner signed all of his power of attorney over to Jeffrey Epstein and cut his mother out of the company. And there's a citation, number 147. And you can
What is
go,
it?
a couple pages back to her indexes of sources, and you can look, source number 147, Sherman, Mogul and the Monster. And then you can Google Sherman, Mogul and the Monster, right? Found it easily. Then you can Command F and you can go to your quote and you can just type in any words from that quote in order, like he was afraid of her. And boom, right there. This is the direct quote that Whitney Webb put in her book. This is the original source. That is why this book is so valuable, because you can actually find her
Whose book
sources
is
that
that?
are cited and you can reference them yourself and see if you agree with her or not. That is the nature of primary sources, and that's why you have to cite primary sources. That's why all my videos have my sources in the background, and I'm always referencing who I'm learning from, what I'm talking about, where
Yeah,
my information is coming from. Because if you don't cite your sources, it's just your opinion.
true.
And Whitney Webb's opinion is based on a ton of sources, and it's badass. I also referenced Operation Underworld on the podcast, but I
He's
didn't
live
remember the
now.
name of the
You can go
boat.
into.
The name of the boat was the SS Norman.
Yeah, okay, you can go into his X account, Ian Carroll. He's talking about Epstein controversy blows up on Rogan. Explained. So he was on Rogan.
And some controversy, and for good reason. It's a important topic and it's a complex topic, People have strong feelings. So I'm going to go live on X in about an hour here after I get some breakfast to address criticisms from the internet, to have some fun, to
He's live
kind of,
now.
talk about the various perspectives online, and to share any little tidbits of like things that I forgot to say or didn't say right, or things that I wish I'd said differently, evidence that I didn't get to share at the time. But actually what I'm going to do is Alex Jones invited me to go into the InfoWars studio later and to present the Epstein argument around Israel and Epstein in a more concrete way, which is a great resource because he's got a team of guys that can help to source the evidence quite quickly today to try to put together as much of a dig into the actual Epstein network as possible on such short notice, because it's so complex that it's hard to.
Yeah, I've heard his argument about that Epstein files, and I mean, this is his theory. Um, but he likes to just connect all of that team to like the Jews and Israel and all of that. Um, I don't know if that holds weight, but
Put that
I don't know.
together all on one day's notice. So that's a great resource, and it'll be a great studio to kind of like put something together that is really like legit about that today. So we'll be shooting that this afternoon and putting it out tonight. And in the future, I will be making more long form, like actual digs with all the sources and evidence about it that we can get into more depth.
Yeah, so he found his niche, and that's his thing though. That's his thing. I've never really paid attention to the guy because it's like how Alex Jones sometimes they get over exaggerating things, you know. What is this? Joe Rogan on Earth temperature exploding climate change scam hoax. Yeah, this might be.
Did you see the Washington Post article that they published recently about temperature change on Earth?
No.
Like what they've realized is over the last, X amount of thousands of years that the temperature on Earth is plummeting.
Yeah.
And it's dropping. And then when they look at the dips, this is the most important thing for anybody that's really freaked out about climate change. There's no static temperature of Earth ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a time where it maintains a temperature until human beings came along and fucked it all up. That is just not real. Before human beings ever existed, if you trust these core samples, there's been a giant rise and fall and this constant dip. There it is.
Yeah.
Scientists have captured Earth's climate over the last 485 million years. Here's the surprising place we stand now. Look at the dip at the end.
Whoa.
That's where we are.
Yeah,
that's reality.
Okay.
And then if you look at the course of history, you look at the rise and fall, like it's never a straight line. Way before human beings ever existed, if you believe these silly people.
Looks like
Way before human
looks like
beings had ever
Bitcoin.
existed. There's always this rise and fall. And this idea that the whole thing is based on carbon emissions from human beings, it's not true. We might be having an effect, but we're having a small
Locally.
effect, a very
Locally.
small effect. And the other things are completely outside of our control, including solar activity, the distance between the Earth
Volcanic.
and the sun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors.
Yeah. And when I say local, it affects your local, just like how garbage is. It's like you throw your garbage like in your front yard, backyard, whatever. Over time, it's gonna pile up and it's going to like interfere with your daily lives, or even like interfere with, and then you're gonna get neighbors complaining, the garbage, the stench, the whatever. That's just locally. Does it bother, or is it going to like affect people in the Philippines or Japan, China? No, it's just I'm in Chicago. I'm in Illinois, by the way. So yeah, so that's locally, and that data, that's the true data. I'm gonna go with that data because they're the climate change people, the scientists. They have their own data. It's called a hockey stick. You can look that up. But anyway, we can go through that. I'm just making a video that because I saw Joe Rogan's trending on Twitter. Now we go into a different rabbit hole here. So until next time.